قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فمن يريد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام ومن يريد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإذا ذكر الله وحده اشمأزت قلوب الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة وإذا ذكر الذين من دونه إذا هم يستبشرون وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك فاتبعوه واتقوا لعلكم ترحمون وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لأبي سفيان يا أبا سفيان قد جئتكم بكرامة الدنيا والآخرة أسلم تسلم أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, hope everyone is well and they're enjoying the beautiful weather and time with their family. And we're preparing for the month of the Hijjah and a Friday night here, Thursday night, which is, the beginning of Friday. And I hope everyone is, maximizing whatever free time they have, whatever opportunity they have in front of them. Because these opportunities, even if they may sound and may feel negative, but then there is an opportunity in these hard times when you have, less places to go, less people to meet, you have more time to save, and like that you can apply more apply more of your time into something more useful and beneficial. Okay, so we are talking about the conversion series of those people who accepted Islam and how they accepted Islam and what was their experiences in Islam. And let's start off with some of the giants who accepted Islam and their experiences in accepting Islam. We know that a lot of people accepted Islam because of the Prophet ﷺ. But how many people accepted Islam from their children, that their own children were influenced on their conversion to Islam? One of the greatest individuals who converted people to Islam was one of the first Muslims, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. He became Muslim. He right away went public about Islam. Ibn Ishaq writes, فَلَمَّا أَسَّمُ بَكْرَ وَأَظْهَرَ إِسْلَامَهُ. Right when Abu Bakr became Muslim, he went public about his Islam. And that's interesting. There is no order in the Quran that tells Abu Bakr to go and invite people towards Allah. There is no, تَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ or تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ الْمُنْكَرِ أُدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Those verses haven't been revealed, but it becomes his, religious duty, responsibility that he saves the people that he knows from the fire of Jahannam. How many people that we know who are non-Muslims that if they die tonight, they will be burning in hell for the rest of their lives, for eternity, not one day, not 2 days, forever. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he was a very respectful person and respected person. وكان أبو بكر الصديق رجلا مألفا لقوم محببا سهلا. He was someone that was loved and respected. وكان أنسب قريش لقريش. He was one of the most knowledgeable people in the lineage and genealogy of people in Quraysh. And وأعلم قريش بما كان فيها من خير وشر. He was a very knowledgeable person in things which, knowing what was right and what was wrong and what was bad and what was evil. وكان رجلا تاجرا ذا خلق معروف. And he was a very big businessman that was respected by many people. And he would do so much good. Right when he became Muslim, فَجَعَلَ يَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالْإِسْلَامِ مَنْ وُثِقَ بِهِ مِنْ قَوْمٍ مَنْ يَغْشَاهُ. This is what the word writing Ibn Ishaq is saying. Right when he became a Muslim, he started inviting people that were very close to him, who would come to him and speak to him and talk to him or did business with him that he was comfortable with. He started inviting them towards Islam. Who has ever felt that responsibility? Like, okay, you know what? I'm a Muslim. I'm in college. Should I invite them to Islam? Is it the right thing to do? Should I do it? Should I not do it? So people become very hesitant. He wasn't hesitant. Neither was there a command. Now there is commands. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Quran that قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Save your family. You know, لِتُنذِرَ أُمَّ الْقُرَى وَمَنْ حَوْلَهَا. People should invite their community. You know, so it's not like this is وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. There's verse after verse. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ على بصيرة أنا أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين. Verse after verse that advocates, that motivates, that, you know, instructs us. Instructions are given to us that we must invite people towards Allah. Why don't we do it? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu has no instructions. You become Muslim on your own and you survival of the fittest. You can survive the storms and the opposition, you know, you go to Jannah. And if you don't, you die as a shaheed. He goes right away. فَأَسْلَمَ عَلَى يَدِي فِيمَا بَلَغَ, you know, from Az-Zubayr bin Awam, Uthman bin Affan, Talha bin Ubaidullah, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, Abdul Rahman bin Auf. Five right there, right away accepted Islam. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, it's one narration, فَانْطَلَقُوا إِلَى رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم وَمَعَهُمْ أبو بكر فعرض عليهم الإسلام وقرأ عليهم القرآن وأنبأوا بحق الإسلام فآمنوا وكان هؤلاء النفر الثمانية. These people all accepted Islam. Now there were not 8 people, and they were the earliest Muslims to accept Islam, and later on more people accepted Islam. You know, this is unbelievable that these Abu Ubaidah was influenced later on by Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq influenced so many people, but one of the people who in his own home, his family had not accepted Islam. His friends had accepted Islam. Abu Bakr's own home, in his own house, was, you know, clearly against him becoming a Muslim, and clearly did not want to accept Islam. And his mother is Jamil, and his father is Abu Quhafa. If you're taking notes, this would be an interesting note to write down. One of the things that we know about Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is that out of all the people that we know from the Sahaba, Abu Bakr is one of those rare individuals who his entire family became Muslim. His entire family accepted Islam. That's something, it's hard to find. Like, how many times do you find converts? You ask a convert who's a Muslim, is your mother Muslim? Say, no. Your dad Muslim? I don't know who my dad is. You know, you ask them, your sisters, anyone in your family Muslim? They say no, it's not. Then, you know, look at some of the biggest Muslims that we know who converted to Islam. You know, Muhammad Ali, how many of his relatives are Muslims? You know, his children practicing, maybe. You know, Malcolm X, same thing. You have these two, you know, real strong figures who are Muslim. So converting to Islam is not easy. Imam Suhaib Webb, for example, ask him, I asked this question to Ubaidullah Evans. He's like, my mom, you know, my mom, you know how he talks to Ubaidullah, Sheikh Ubaid, you know, my mom's thinking about it, and I think she's Muslim, but she hasn't said it, and his face goes in the camera like that. So, you know, Ustad Ubaidullah is he says the same thing. He's like, you know, this is, so these are the challenges of converts. So sometimes you can convert so many people, but how do you convert your parents? One of my favorite surahs in the Quran is Surah Maryam. And one of my favorite passages in Surah Maryam is the discussion of Ibrahim and his father. We're coming into the discussion of Ibrahim in the next few weeks because of Hajj. But one of the most, you know, touching discussions for me, because I'm a person very attached to my dad. Imagine, you know, not being able to take your father to Jannah with you. And and I talk about this all the time. This story hits very deep with me. I'm going to put my Quran up here. This story is it goes it goes far with me. And I'm just trying to, elaborate the fact that, giving da'wah to your parents isn't an easy scenario. When your father is racist, your mother is racist, telling them they're not racist is not easy. When your father and mother are doing shirk, it's not easy that you tell them that this is kufr. It's not easy. Someone's doing some innovation in their life, and people who are whose parents do some type of things that they inherited from overseas, and now their children study that school of thought and say, that looks a little skeptical. It's not easy to confront someone even when they're Muslims. Imagine confronting them when they're non-Muslims. It's like there's a religion that they're this was the religion of their forefathers, and they had practiced it, and they were given respect through it. And then they got their business. They worshiped these idols, and their business was flourishing, associating it to their idol worshiping. And it was this belief system. It was an economical mindset. It was a social lifestyle to worship these idols. There was a business running and vibrant in Mecca because of idol worshiping. Imagine taking the casinos out of Vegas. It becomes a desert. Similarly, taking the idols out of Mecca, then what is there to visit? Why would people visit here, not knowing that the Kaaba of Allah itself is an attraction, but they had all these idols around? Look at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Maryam, chapter number 19, verse number 41. Allah says, let's talk about Ibrahim. When he says that, he doesn't say, let's talk about his sacrifice here, or, there are different places where Allah talks about that, but he doesn't talk about like his, sacrificing the ram and his leaving his family in Makkah. He said, let's talk about Ibrahim, right? And this comes after speaking about the most righteous mother, Maryam, the most righteous father, Zakaria. This comes in that context. Maryam, the most righteous father, Isa, the righteous son, Zakaria, the righteous father, Yahya, the righteous son. It's like a family full of prophethood. Allah says, yes, there are people like this, and there are also families like this. And who is he speaking to? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, speaking to us, right? وَذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ Maryam. Let's talk about, وَذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ Ibrahim. Let's talk about Ibrahim. إِنَّهُ كَانَ صِدِّيقًا نَبِيًّا. He was honest and he was a prophet. He was a real Siddiq. He was close to Allah, a friend of Allah. And he spoke to his father. إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِ لِمَ تَعْبُدُ مَا لَا يَسْمَعُ وَلَا يُبْصِرُ وَلَا يُغْنِي عَنْكَ شَيْئًا. Dad, why? Why do you worship things that cannot hear, they cannot see, they have no faculties? وَلَا يُغْنِي عَنْكَ شَيْئًا. They can't help you in any shape or form. يَا أَبَتِ إِنِّي قَدْ جَاءَنِي مِنَ الْعِلْمِ. So the first thing he does is denounces the parent shirk. Sometimes you have to ask your friends, really, like, are you serious? Why are you an atheist? Why do you not worship God? Or why do you believe Jesus is the Son of God? Or why do you believe in the Trinity? And why do you believe in certain elements of faith? Have these religious, it's very simple discussion. It's not very complicated. And then he says, once you ask these questions, you're making the person think about their wrong. It's better that they analyze it than you tell them. He said, why are you worshiping Jesus? Is Jesus really the Son of God? Does Jesus say that? So the person's like, better than saying, hey, Jesus is not the Son of God. You come out offending. You come out aggressive. And that is da'wah. Look at the way Ibrahim is speaking. Ya abati, now, because you have the knowledge of Islam, you can say this to someone like Ibrahim. Ya abati inni qad ja'ani min al-ilm. Oh, Dad, knowledge has come to me. Knowledge has come to me. Ma lam yattabik. I know something you don't know. 90% of the world doesn't know about the knowledge that we know about the Quran. What are you waiting for? فَاتَّبِعْنِي أَهْدِكَ صِرَاطًا سَوِيًّا. Follow this path. It will guide you to the truth. Imagine telling your dad that you have some knowledge that he doesn't have. Your dad that fed you, raised you, clothed you, and he did everything for you. And now you're saying, جَاءَنِي مِنَ الْعِلْمِ مَا لَمْ يَأْتِكَ. I have knowledge that you don't have. And that's the beauty of knowledge. Even if the son possesses it, we have to go ask them. If a child possesses it, for example, if my daughter, knows where my pen is, my pencil for my tablet. That's her knowledge. That's knowledge that she has, right? That's knowledge that she has. Now, I don't know where it is. I have to go to her on my knees and say, Maryam, where is that? You were playing with it. Can you tell me where it is? I have to humble myself to someone that has knowledge of something that I don't, right? After that, I can just, lock her in a room. But where is it? That's knowledge that she has. I have to humble myself. That's the thing about knowledge. You always have to bring yourself down. And I'm talking about something that happened today. I had to go on my knees because she hides my phone sometimes. Like, where is my phone? Like, it's so pity. Like, it's so difficult. But she knows something I don't know. Nobody else knows. Your kids will do this to you when you have kids. They will take things and they'll just hide it, And you can't yell, because if you yell, you'll lose the person and she or he will run away. You'll never get your objective. So here's, that's the beauty of knowledge, Anyways, Ya abati la ta'budu shaitan. Now Ibrahim is saying, Dad, you can't worship the devil. Devil's bad. Now he's telling the dad, look at the way he's progressing. He's la ta'budu shaitan. Inna shaitana kana rahmani asiya. The shaitan is, he has always been disobedient to Allah. Ya abati inni akhafu an yamassaka adhabu min ar-rahman fatakuna lish-shaytani waliya. Now every time, 4 times. You think he could not say this all in one sentence? Yeah, Dad, why are you worshiping these idols? And you got to come to me. I got knowledge, and don't worship the devil. Every time, a separate sentence, a separate ayah. Yeah, basically every discussion was done with respect. Oh, my beloved father, not ya mushrik, ya Azar. Yo Azar, that's his name. Or you idol worshiper, and the person who used to carve idols. Why? I'm afraid that you're going to be afflicted by the punishment of Rahman. Now, that's an interesting ayah. Adhab min ar-Rahman. So what he is doing is he wants to state the fact without losing the person's hope. He is saying that there is going to be a punishment for being a disbeliever, but knowing that God is merciful and He's ready to forgive you, except Adabun min ar-Rahman. He's not saying Adabun min Allah or Adabun min al-Jabbar. Adabun min ar-Rahman, a punishment from the most merciful, which makes a person feel like, if He's really merciful, I would probably find a way to become His friend. فَتَكُونَ لِلشَّيْطَانِ وَلِيًّا. So yeah, in the father, of course, he denounces his son. It was rough. قَالَ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكَ سَأَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكَ رَبِّي إِنَّهُ كَانَ بِي حَفِيًّا. There are so many people in the world that don't talk to their parents, but there are very few people that you can talk to and they will tell you if they're real Muslim. The pain of a person who believes in hell, knowing that someone is going to hell, is very painful. The closest that came to me was Kobe Bryant when he died, where he's so close to so many people watching him, growing up, watching him play, connecting with his highlights, doing so many things that he did. And now you're watching him, you watch his funeral when he dies without Islam. It's so painful. Imagine, and I believe in Jannah and Jahannam, but imagine a prophet whose father, and the prophet is Khalid, who's a friend of Allah, who has absolutely no doubt in resurrection. This is happening with him. This is a disaster, but it happens. So, we have people who want to convert their parents, but they're going to have to go through a lot of challenges. So let's go through the first quick incident of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq's parents. We'll do both of them at the same time, because one accepted Islam early, one accepted Islam very late. Abu Bakr's story short. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, there were around 88 people who accepted Islam around the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu used to invite people to Islam and call people to Islam. And one day, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was قام أبو بكر في الناس خطيبا والرسول جالس. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu got up and he started giving a speech, and the Prophet was sitting there. فكان أول خطبة خطيب دعا إلى الله وإلى الرسول. This was the first speech that was given in public to invite people towards Allah and His Rasul. The first speech. Isn't that crazy? The first speech ever in public. وَثَارَ الْمُشْرِكُونَ عَلَى أَبِي بَكْرٍ. When he started giving this public speech, by then 88 people, men had accepted Islam. So this is like the third year, fourth year of Islam. People started to, it says, فضربوا في نواحي المسجد ضربا شديدا ووطئ أبو بكر وضرب ضربا شديدا. They pounced on him, they started beating him. And ودنا منه الفاسق عتبة بن ربيعة فجعل يضرب عليه. So this real wretched person, Utbah bin Rabi'ah, he comes and he starts to beat him with his shoes and hitting him on his face. ويحرفهما لوجهه, and he's just smashing someone. Now hitting someone on the face is just disrespectful. Hitting someone overall is, despising. But to hit someone on the face, that is just insulting. Hitting who? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq in front of the Prophet ﷺ. And then finally, it says the حتى ما يعرف وجهه من أنفه. You could not recognize the face of Abu Bakr because how bad he was beaten and bruised. وجاء بنو تميم يتعادون فأجلت المشركين عن أبي بكر وحملت بنو تميم أبا بكر في ثوب حتى أدخلوه منزله ولا يشكون في موته. Now this is what this is saying. His tribe Banu Tamim got involved. They came running in his aid, and they said, if you kill him, we will fight Quraysh, we will fight Banu Hashim, we will fight anyone that is attacking him, Banu Makhzum, any tribe. We will fight you if you kill our man. It's more of a tribe issue now. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was put in a cloth, almost like a shroud, and they carried his body in this cloth to his house. The narrator of this is Aisha radiallahu anha, and she says, وَلَا يَشُكُّونَ فِي مَوْتِ. There was no doubt that he was about to die. He was done. خلاص. وَلَا يَشُكُّونَ فِي مَوْتِ. ثُمَّ رَجَعَتْ بَنُو تَمِيمٍ فَدَخَلُوا الْمَسْجِدِ. Then this family of Abu Bakr, the tribe, went to the masjid again, and this is all happening in Masjid Haram, Makkah. And they started to say, وَاللَّهِ لَإِن مَاتَ أَبُو بَكْرٍ لَنَقْتُلَنَّ عُتْبَ بِن رَبِيعَةٍ. They said, Wallahi, if Abu Bakr dies, we're going to kill, we're going to fight, we're going to do anything to get our blood in return. We're going to kill Utbah bin Rabi'ah, the wretched human who was part of the brutal beating against Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. فرجعوا لأبي بكر, they went back to Abu Bakr, and فجعل أبو بكر وبنو تميم يكلمون أبا بكر حتى أجاب. They started talking to him, he was unconscious. فكلم, they started to speak to him, and he couldn't speak. And the first thing he does when he starts to speak is that they start to say, the first thing Rasulullah says is, ما فعل رسول فمسوا منه بألسنتهم وعذلوه. Right when he said this, what happened? The last thing he remembers before getting knocked out was the Prophet was sitting next to him and people were beating him up, and he was afraid the Prophet would get attacked. So that's the last thing he remembers. So the first thing he says when he becomes conscious, ما فعل Rasulullah, and they just touch him, they walk away. They're like, this guy is crazy. They, ثم قاموا وقالوا لأم الخير, his mother's name was الخير. Said, انظري أن تطعمي شيئا تسقيه. Give him some food, give him some water. He's Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu starts to say, ما فعل رسول الله. فقالت, the mother of Abu Bakr says, الخير, says, ما لي علم بصاحبك. I don't know what's going on with your friend. So he says, Abu Bakr, اذهبي إلى أم جميل بنت الخطاب فاسأليها عنه. I want you to go to the house of Jamil, the daughter of Khattab, Umar bin Khattab's sister, who has accepted Islam, and ask her. فخرجت حتى جاءت جميل, and they went, and Jamil said, she asked Jamil, how is Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu doing? And he said, he's doing fine. Jamil came, and she came to see Abu Bakr Siddiq and the way he was beaten up. She comes and she sees, she says that when she came to see Abu Bakr Siddiq, فَدَنَتْ Jamil وَعَانَتْ بِالسِّيَاحِ. She saw Abu Bakr Siddiq and she screamed, ah! She just yelled. And then she said, وَاللَّهِ إِنَّ قَوْمًا نَالُوا هَذَا مِنْكَ لِأَهْلِ فِسْقٍ وَكُفْرٍ. Really? She was a Muslim. She said, she screamed because she couldn't believe what happened to his face. This is a very noble person. So Jamil says, what happened? فَمَا فَعَلَ رَسُولُ. She said, what's going on? How's the Prophet ﷺ doing? And Jamil says, هذه أمك تسمع. Your mom is here listening. فَلَا شَيْءٍ عَلَيْكَ مِنْهَا. He's like, قال, and Jamil said, listen, just take care of your mother. Your mom wants to know how you're doing. You're just all you're doing is asking about the Prophet ﷺ. And Jamil says, Salimun Salih. The Prophet ﷺ is fine, he's safe. And Abu Bakr, all this is happening when he's injured. Amazing how he loved the Prophet ﷺ. And he says, where is he? Aina huwa? Qala fi dar al-arqam, where the Prophet would usually be in the early parts of Islam. So then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, فَإِنَّ لِلَّهِ عَلَيَّ. Listen to this. فَإِنَّ لِلَّهِ عَلَيَّ أَن لَا أَذُوقُ طَعَامًا وَلَا أَشْرَبَ شَرَابًا أَوْ آتِيَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said, I swear to God, I swear, I will not take a bite of food, drink a sip of water until I see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, until I'm taken to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What happens? خرجت به يتكئ عليهما. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is picked up and he is resting on the shoulders of two women. The daughter of the sister of Umar bin Khattab, this is before hijab of course, and his own mother. The two women are carrying him to the house, Dar al-Arqam. And when the Prophet ﷺ saw him, it says, فَأَكَبَّ عَلَيْهِ رَسُولٌ فَقَبَّلَهُ وَأَكَبَّ عَلَيْهِ الْمُسْلِمُونَ. When the Muslims saw him, they all fell towards him. They all kissed him. They just got up at the door and rushed towards him. And they started kissing him. And then when the Prophet ﷺ looked closer and saw what happened to him, the words say, وَرَقَّ لَهُ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ رَقَّةً شَدِيدًا. The Prophet cried so much. He cried so much. At this moment when the Prophet is crying and the mother is, part of this assisting him, and all this is happening, it's like the most difficult day in the life of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. The most difficult day. There are certain things that happen to you in your life in the most difficult times that you don't really know, but they're the best things happening to you. There's like something about it. Some of the best things happen to people in their most difficult times. Someone gets fired, and them getting fired was the best thing for them. Someone, goes through some sickness, and we don't know the wisdom behind it, but that was probably the best thing for them. It saved them from something that was going to be worse. Allahu a'lam. Allah knows the wisdom. So the Prophet is crying, and فقال Abu Bakr says, بِأَبِي وَأُمِّي يَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. May my parents be sacrificed upon you, Ya Rasulullah. My parents be sacrificed upon you. And he says, لَيْسَ بِي بَأْسٌ إِلَّا مَا نَالَ الْفَاسِقُ مِنْ وَجْهِ. There's not a big deal, except that this evil guy got his hands on me. Otherwise, there's nothing big, not a big deal. And just beat my face up. It's okay. And then he says, وَهَذِهِ أُمِّي بَرَّةٌ بِوَلَدِهَا. This is my mother who is so good to her son. She is such a good mother. وَهَذِهِ أُمِّي بَرَّةٌ بِوَلَدِهَا. My mother is such a great mother. She takes care of me. وَأَنْتَ مُبَارَكٌ. O Prophet of Allah, and you're such a blessed person. فَدْعُوهَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَادْعُوا اللَّهَ لَهَا. Two things you have to do. You have to first make dua for someone's hidayah. Says, فَدْعُوهَا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Invite them or invite her at the moment to Allah. Second, make dua for them to get guidance. You have to do both. We're all sitting there, oh Allah, guide America. Oh Allah, guide the world. We haven't done our first part. I mean, how is God going to guide them without you doing your job? Why is it that when it comes to money, we ask and we also do? We apply, we study. But when it comes to deen, God will bring guidance. I was speaking to some doctors in this community, and guess what their discussion was? How is da'wah going to spread? And how is this? Like sitting at these guys with this silly goose. It's like, really, you can't just talk like this. You have to, if every Muslim makes this their responsibility, that they are the ambassadors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the deputy of God on this earth. Inna Allah mustakhlafakum fiha. Allah has made you an ambassador. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. Allah is saying this. I am sending an ambassador of mine to this earth. And then being from the Prophet's ummah, if every person carries that responsibility sincerely, people will accept Islam on all the sides of the road. So the Prophet ﷺ, he asked the Prophet, can you please invite her to Islam, make dua for her. Asallahu an yastanqidhaha bika min an-nar. This is the point. He says, it is hopeful that Allah will save her through you from the fire of Jahannam. That's the key. It's about the fire of hell. Yusqa min hadid. Can you imagine? Yusqa min hamim. Quran saying they'll be given drinks of pus. إن شجرة الزقوم طعام الأثيم كالمهل يغلي في البطون كغلي الحميم خذوه فاعتلوا إلى سواء الجحيم. When we read these verses, do we not know that there's going to be someone burning in hell forever? When we see videos and pictures of people who are hungry and thirsty and who are living in famine or in the middle of a war, we have so much sympathy for them. And inshallah, if they're Muslims, they go to paradise. That doesn't mean we ignore the opportunity of supporting them. But what about all those humans that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created? And they're all humans that Allah loves. Allah doesn't only love Muslims. Allah loves all His creation. Allah didn't say we created only Muslims in the best form. Allah says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We created the humans in the best form. The best of creation are not just Muslims, humans. Prophets, the best of people, were sent to the worst of people to get a licking from the worst people to the best people. The prophets, the best people, were sent to the worst people so that they can get a licking from people like Utbah bin Rabi'ah. And in return, they will make dua for them and Allah will guide them, or someone will get guided through their sacrifice. Here's the story. So here we are. The Prophet ﷺ invites her. فَدَعَا لَهَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَدَعَاهَا إِلَى اللَّهِ. The Prophet ﷺ made dua for her. Oh Allah, guide her. And then he فَأَسْلَمَتْ. She becomes Muslim. She becomes Muslim. You know? وَأَقَامُوا مَعَ رَسُولِ فِي دَارِ شَهْرًا وَهُمْ تَسْعُونَ وَثَلَاثُونَ رَجُلٍ. Check this out. So there is multiple things happening. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu got beat up that day. That same day his mom becomes Muslim. That same day Hamza also accepts Islam. So this has to be the 5th year of Nubuwwah. So it's in the public da'wah. The 5th year of Nubuwwah. So brothers and sisters, this is the son who is praying for his mom to become Muslim. Now, the other incident of Abu Bakr Siddiq is also very interesting about his dad. Now, this happened much later. This is Abu Bakr with his family, man. This is unbelievable. He had so many people he accepted somebody. He's going after his family. One, he's knocking them out. It comes in Tabrani, an Asma bint Abu Bakr. This is narrated by the other elder daughter of Aisha, elder sister of Aisha, the elder daughter of Abu Bakr. He says, when the Prophet ﷺ conquered Mecca, in the 7th year, this is much later. So, Abu Bakr's dad did not accept Islam till like almost 20 years later. 20 years later. لما كان يوم الفتح قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم لأبي قحافة. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said to Abu Quhafa, a lot of people accept Islam. There's like sections of Sirah dedicated for all those members who accept Islam on the day the Prophet conquered Mecca. Right before the Khalid bin Walid did, Amr bin As, just before that, Abu Sufyan, Sufyan bin Harith, the Prophet's uncle, another uncle. You have Urwa bin Mas'ud. You have Ikrama. Everyone that we talked about, the conversions. A lot of these people accept Islam at that time when the Prophet entered Mecca. Habbar bin Aswad, the guy who killed the Prophet's daughter and part of the injury of the Prophet's daughter Zainab. When the Prophet ﷺ entered Mecca, it says that the Prophet sat down in the masjid and he was finally calm and relaxed after praying and doing all his rituals. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu brings his father Abu Quhafa. Prophet sitting, Abu Bakr brings his father to the Prophet ﷺ. And this is the Prophet ﷺ's first reaction after seeing a man who's been 20 years of disbelief, but he's the father of Abu Bakr. Right? He's a good guy. I mean, he's the father of Abu Bakr. This is the first thing the Prophet ﷺ says. And if we can give respect to people like this, man, I'm telling you, those strong, hard, redneck, old Trump supporters, they'll become Muslim. This is the Prophet's approach. فَلَمَّا رَآهُ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, when the Prophet put it in, he dropped his gaze on him, he said, يا أبا بكر ألا تركت الشيخ حتى أكون أنا الذي أمشي إليه. Abu Bakr, why? Why would you trouble your father who is so much older than us to come all the way here where I could have came to him? Did you just hear what I just said? هلا تركت الشيخ. You could have left the elder. He's a sheikh. He's white hair, old man. حتى أكون أنا أمشي إليه. I would have the honor to walk towards him. Abu Bakr being Abu Bakr, he was the great Abu Bakr. He says, Ya Rasulullah, huwa ahaqqu am yamshi ilayk min am tamshi ilayh. It is your right, O Prophet of Allah, that he walks towards you rather than you walk towards him. فَجَلَسَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. The Prophet sat him in front of him. Oh, it's beautiful. In Makkah was just conquered. Abu Bakr brings his father. The Prophet sits him in front of him. وَوَضَعَ يَدَهُ عَلَى قَلْبِهِ. He puts his hand on the chest of Abu Bakr's dad. And he says, Ya Aba Quhafa, Aslim Taslam. Aslim Taslam. This is very deep. Submit and you will live in peace. Aslim Taslam. I want you to say that with me. Aslim Taslam. Submit, accept Islam, you will live in harmony. You will live in peace. That's what so simple. He didn't say, a verse from the Quran and all these ayat and all these evidence of God's signs and the scientific miracles. He just said something simple. Aslim Taslam. He becomes Muslim. That is the story of his dad and his mom. Did you guys like that story? I mean, you guys are not responding. Did you guys enjoy that story? Come on, guys. Tell me you enjoyed the stories. Isn't that amazing? Did you guys know this? Like such detail about this before? Loay, man. He said he loved it. Anybody else loved it? Nobody else? All right, you guys ready for another two stories? But again, these stories are supposed to inspire us. There are so many Abu Quhafas out there, old people. Somehow we have to get to them. We should sleep at night thinking, how can my neighborhood be safe from Jahannam? I don't know if you heard my son Zakaria. He's like, I loved it. Silly guy. There should be, at least, they say the fikr of sa'ah. It's just this thought of like how God can guide people is better than worshiping, 70 years of ibadah. It's better than 70 years of ibadah. Just thinking that, there's so many people who are just going to hell. May Allah take us to Jannah and make us people who take others to Jannah. Qulu ameen. Before I give you another famous Sahabi, I share with you an incident that I found to be very interesting in the sense that how a son, dealt with his dad, and this story makes the Prophet emotional. It's one of the most emotional things that we don't know about is when people who are Muslim, their members become Muslim. It's a very emotional thing. It's a very fulfilling thing. And the opposite of that, having someone die in your family without Islam, or someone that dying without Islam. So many close people have died to me, but when they die and I know they're Muslim, it's just so much more easier to comfort myself. But when someone dies without Islam, it's so painful. This is the incident of the Prophet ﷺ with a Sahabi of his name is Imran. very interesting name, Imran. Not many Sahaba have this name, Imran, whose father was Hussein. Hussein, what? Sad, not seen. From Hisn. Hisn is a fortress, or fort. So his father's name was Hussein. It says that the people of Quraysh came to Hussein, who was a very noble person. كانت تعظمه. They said, you are very, like, they respected him a lot. People of Quraysh would use different people at different times to talk to the Prophet. They would lobby, like, maybe you go. Whatever way they could get to the Prophet ﷺ to convince him, stop this message, stop this propagating of Islam, and just, leave us in our families, in our ways. Just ignore us. Just do your own, we'll do your own. Lakum dinukum waliya din. Right? We can't fall for that. We have to invite. They said to him, كلم لنا هذا الرجل فإنه يذكر آلهتنا ويسبهم. And we need you to talk to Muhammad. They said هذا الرجل. They didn't even say Muhammad. This man, right? He talks about our God and he curses them, meaning he belittles them. He belittles them because he said idols. Like, how foolish. Wouldn't you know Allah? How foolish is it that you do something else? فجاءوا معه حتى جلسوا قريبا من باب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. And they all came with him to speak to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. And they came and the Prophet saw him. Guess what the Prophet does? He's أوسعوا للشيخ. This old man has come. Prophet said, make space for this non-Muslim who is coming to talk to the Prophet for something really contrary to the Prophet's message. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, his reaction with old people, it's also something to document. I wish God gives me life. How the Prophet dealt with older men and women. So respectful. He did this with women too. He would spread his cloth on the ground for older women to sit on it. And Sahaba like, what is this? So much respect. He said, Osi'u lil-Shaykh. Arabs, they love it when you give them a special, special attention. Especially those Arabs in Quraysh. They're honorable people. وَعِمْرَانُ وَأَصْحَابُهُ مُتَوَافِرُونَ. And Imran, the son of Hussein, was sitting there with the Sahaba. فقال Hussein says, the father of Imran, to the Prophet, ما هذا الذي بلغنا عنك? What is this that we hear about you? أنك تشتم آلهتنا وتذكرهم وقد كان أبوك حسينة وخيرا. He says, what is this that you talk bad and evil about our gods, while your father was also part of this whole, this practice? Basically he's saying that your forefathers, Abdul Muttalib, and all of them were part of this idol worshipping. This is not something like, we're making up. This was part of your heritage. This brings up the whole discussion of the Prophet's parents and whether his parents were idol worshippers. I'm not going to do that right now. We'll do that for some other day. Anyways, the Prophet ﷺ says, Ya Hussein, let me tell you something. Inna abi wa abaka fil jannah. Fil nar, excuse me. Inna abi wa abaka fil nar, Ya Hussein. He says, oh Hussein, this is for the fact, stating the fact, your father and my father are both in hell. So what does that bring us to? That under this narration, the Prophet ﷺ's father were not Muslims, father particularly, and this narration is Ibn Khuzaymah, Akhraj Ibn Khuzaymah, and it's a narration that's also an Isaba, and the Prophet saying it like it is, like your father and my dad are both in hell. This brings out a lot of questions, and I really don't want to do them right now. So let's go ahead. So the Prophet ﷺ says, Kam ta'budu min ilah? He says, Hussein, how many gods do you worship? He's asking. I'm just going to again, he's asking. This is a very, very smart form of da'wah. You pose the question and let them answer, and they're let them think about what they're saying, because they really don't have an answer. And in their answers, you'll find so much absurd and very flimsy, shallow, ideas that would have no concrete evidence. قال سبعا. He says سبعا. في الأرض وواحدا في السماء. He said, I have 7 gods on earth and 1 in the sky. It just cracks me up when I read this. He says, فَإِذَا أَصَابَكَ الضُّرُّ مَنْ تَدْعُو. He says, when you go through hardship, who do you call out to? When you go through difficulty, poverty, he said, who do you call out to? He said, الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاء. He said, I call out to the God in the heavens. He says, فَإِذَا هَلَكَ مَالْ مَنْ تَدْعُو. So when you lose all your money, your property, business, something happens, who do you call out to? He says, الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاء. We call out to the God that's in the sky. قال فيستجيب لك وحده وتشركهم معه. Say that one God take care of all your needs. Why are you adding associating all these other 7 gods with it? If you are calling him, he's answering you, then why do you need the other 7? He says, أرضيته في الشكر أم تخاف أن يغلب عليك. He's like, are you trying to just appease them, or are you afraid that these gods will go against you? You see what he's saying? The Prophet is like, why? Like, then why? Why you have these? Why are you going on praising these idols? Are you doing it because you're trying to thank them because they were part of this all happening, or are you just afraid that if you don't thank them or you don't worship them, these gods will come against you? Ooh, what's gonna happen? And then he says, "Wala wahida min hatain." He's like, no, none of these. We're not doing it to make the gods happy. Neither are we afraid of these gods. And then قال وعلمت أني لم أكلم مثله. He says, I know that I can't answer this. This is you're right. There's nothing like that. قال يا حسين أسلم تسلم. Same thing. He said, Hussein, أسلم تسلم. Accept and submit. I know it's not easy to put your back, your history, your past, and just shove it away. All these ideologies, and sometimes arrogance kicks in and you feel like, man, I lived 20 years listening to music, now it's haram. No, I had my wedding like this, now it's haram. Oh, so now your culture, your society, your peer pressure, so many things that you've done, and you're like, well, if people find out that I did this in the past and now I have a different opinion, people will say you're not a person of principles and you should stay firm on what you believe. What if you believe something wrong and you stay firm on it? It makes you an idiot. It doesn't make you, someone who has any dignity. Dignity is in believing in what's right. Principles are laid by God, not by your parents, not by your community, not by your limbs and whims. It's about what's right. Because you were doing something wrong so long and that has become normal, that doesn't mean you leaving that is contrary to, a principle or a personality, and you become, double standard. No, once you know and you believe you were wrong, change the course. And in that course is your principle, in your dignity, in your honor. So it's not easy for a person who's worshipped idols. He's old. The Prophet ﷺ said, Awsi'ul al-Shaykh, he's an old man. So we're talking about 70 years and of like guilt. Like, man, I was stupid for 70 years. Sometimes you're praying wrong and someone tells you did salah wrong. Like, really? I was ignorant for that many years. Imagine how humbling and how at the same time you have to accept the truth. And the only reason people don't is 2 reasons. Possibly 2 reasons. Ignorance, arrogance, pride, and pure pressure. And the third, which is involved in the Jews, is jealousy. Anyways, in the Jewish community that the Prophet had to deal with in Medina, we know that was jealousy. أَمْ يَحْسُدُونَ النَّاسَ عَلَى مَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Allah says, are they jealous because we gave you the prophethood and we haven't brought it in the family of Isaac? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, let's go ahead. أسلم تسلم. And he says, قال إن لي قوما وعشيرة فماذا أقول? He says, Ya Rasulullah, I have a family, I have a tribe, I have a community. What am I going to say to them? فقالها حسين فلم يقم حتى أسلم. And then this is, he said, what am I going to say? The Prophet ﷺ said, قل اللهم إني أستهديك لأرشد أمري وزدني علما ينفعني. He said, oh Hussein, say this dua. Oh Allah, guide me to the best of manners, of affairs, matters. Arshad amri, the matter that guides me. and increase me in knowledge that would benefit me. So now the Prophet ﷺ, he dictates a dua to Hussein. He reads it to him, and then Hussein repeats it. Amazing way to do it, right? So now Hussein's making dua for guidance for himself. He said, Allahumma inni astahdika li arshadi amri. Oh Allah, you guide me to the best way. وزدني علما ينفعني, and guide me, give me the best of knowledge. فقال Hussein said, Hussein with a sword. Hussein said this dua, فلم يقم حتى أسلم. Before he got up, he became Muslim. Now, this is where it gets interesting in this narration. It says that his son was there the entire time, Imran, right? Remember the son Imran? And when the Prophet ﷺ said, "Usu'ul Sheikh, make space for Sheikh," and this old man, his son never got up for his dad. His dad was an honorable person, never gave him any protocol. When his father became Muslim, this is where it gets really interesting. فَقَامَ إِلَيْهِ Imran, his son, gets up. He was there, but he didn't acknowledge his dad the whole time. فَقَبَّلَ رَأْسَهُ وَيَدَيْهِ وَرِجْلَيْهِ. He kisses his father on his head, on his forehead. He kisses his father's hands, and he kisses his father's feet. What a moment of joy, guys. Can I get a takbir for this? Can I get a takbir? What a moment of joy. The son's there the whole time. He doesn't even acknowledge his dad. Like, yeah, you're coming here to give trouble to my prophet, right? I'm not gonna takbirs. Give me a takbir there, So when he becomes a Muslim, فَقَبَّلَ رَأْسَهُ, he kisses his father's head, and he kisses his father's feet. Feet, man, that's unbelievable. My son is giving takbir from the top. فَلَمَّا رَأَى ذَلِكَ النَّبِيُّ صلى الله عليه وسلم, when the Prophet saw this, baka, the Prophet started crying. The Prophet couldn't hold his tears. وقال, he said, بكيت من صنيع عمران دخل حسين وهو كافر فلم يقم إليه عمران ولم يلتفت ناحيته فلما أسلم قضى حقه فدخلني من ذلك الرقة. This is so good. This is so good. This is like dinner to me. He says, the Prophet now tells the people why he's crying. He says, I'm crying because of what Imran just did. Hussein, the father of Imran, walked in while he was a disbeliever, and Imran did not even stand up for him. وَلَمْ يَلْتَفِتْ نَاحِيَةً. He didn't even move his head for him, didn't give him any attention. And when he becomes Muslim, فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَ قَضَى حَقَّهُ, he gets up and he fulfills the right the father has upon the son. And that whole experience, the Prophet noticed his son ignoring the father. That's amazing too, right? The father noticed that Imran was sitting there cold shoulder, and now he finally gives his father some respect. فَدَخَلَنِي مِنْ ذَلِكَ الرِّقَّةِ. That just got me emotional. And then when Hussein, this is a beautiful story. Isn't it a beautiful story, guys? I don't know if you guys heard this before. It's a beautiful story. I'm telling you, man, this is people don't know about this stuff. Islam is so beautiful. فلما أراد حسين, when Hussein wanted to get up and leave, go back to his house, أراد أن يخرج قال لأصحابه, Prophet said to his Sahaba, قوموا فشيعوه إلى منزلي. He said, get up. He said, all the Sahaba get up and take him and escort him to his house. Now you have 90 people walking this man to his house and kind of pumping him up. They're excited. Like, قوموا فشيعوه إلى منزلي. Now you escort him to his house. Give him, honor this man. He's accepted Islam. Subhanallah. And right when he walked out, remember the Quraysh was standing outside because they were the ones sending him as a middleman, as a spokesperson on behalf of Quraysh. They're like, you got to go speak to Muhammad and convince him to do the opposite of what just happened. He comes out as a Muslim. Quraysh was like, what just happened? Happens all the time, brothers and sisters. And I'll just give you one last story. And this was like the things that happened with the Prophet and Sahaba. There was a man named Umayr bin Wahab. Umayr bin Wahab is that same guy that Umar bin Khattab, when he used to say nasty things about the Prophet all the time. And when he was captured when he was captured in Badr, Umar radiallahu anhu wanted to cut his tongue. So the Prophet, some story short, the Prophet said, no. A time will come, لَعَلَّ اللَّهُ يَقُومَهُ مَقَامٍ يَسُرُ بِكَ. A time will come that he will stand in a place that you will be very impressed. Like you will, like don't cut his tongue. He will say something that will really help Islam and keep, that don't like he's like, let me just break his teeth. That's what he said. Let me just break his teeth. So it says, Umar ibn Khattab says about this person that he hated because of what he did to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to hit the Prophet, attack the Prophet. He says, Umar ibn Khattab said, when this person walked into the Prophet's room as a non-Muslim, he said, like khinzirun kana habbu ilayya minhu hina ittala'a. He said, when he walked in, I swear to God, I had more respect for a pig than this person. وَهُوَ الْيَوْمَ أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْ بَعْضِ بَنِيَّ. And now he's a Muslim, I love him more than my children. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing, guys? We'll do just the last one. And whatever's left over, we'll just hear it in some other Friday khutbah or something. This is a story of Abu Hurairah. And Abu Hurairah accepted Islam very late. He only spent 4 years or 5 years with the Prophet. 4 years. He accepted Islam. It says, and Khaybar. Khaybar was the 6th year, and 4 years, say 5 years, 4.5 years, Abu Hurairah had with the Prophet ﷺ, but he narrates over 6,000 narrations. And he learned so much in that short span of time. Abu Hurairah, this hadith is Sahih Muslim. Abu radiallahu anhu says, كنت أدعو أمي إلى الإسلام وهي مشركة. He said, I used to invite my mom towards Islam all the time. And my mom was never interested. فدعوتها يوما. One day I went home and I said, Mom, gave her da'wah, but the mom came out strong. I don't know what happened with the mom. This is one of those days when the moms are just kind of like, I don't want to say anything about the mothers, but like they just, they haven't taken the medications or something. Allahu alam, or they just had a hard day. May Allah bless our mother. Say Ameen. So it was one of those days of Abu Hurairah's mother's life where she was not in the mood. Abu Hurairah gave her da'wah, and فَأَسْمَعْتْنِي فِي رَسُولِ سَمَّ أَكْرَى. She started bad mouthing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bad mouthing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَأَتَيْتُ رَسُولَ وَأَنَا أَبْكِي. Abu Hurairah comes to the Prophet crying. This is an adult. Abu Hurairah accepted Islam when he was in his 40s or 50s. He was old. He wasn't a kid. When you think Abu Hurairah was a student of knowledge, he must have been a small kid. No. He wasn't a full-grown adult. He comes to the Prophet crying. قلت يا رسول الله إني كنت أدعو إلى الإسلام فتأبى علي وإني دعوتها اليوم فأسمعتني في كما أكره. So Ya Rasulullah, I continued to invite my mother to Islam, and today I invited her, and she made me hear things I never wanted to hear about. And speaking against the Prophet, they loved the Prophet so much that they could not tolerate their mother talking against the Prophet. And he says, فَدْعُ اللَّهِ يَهْدِي أَبِي هُرَيْرَةَ. Can you please make dua that Allah guides the mother of Hurairah? Just make dua that Allah guides my mom. So the Prophet ﷺ raises his hands. So Allahumma hdi Abi Hurairah. Allahumma hdi Abi Hurairah. Oh Allah, please guide the mother of Abu Hurairah. He got up. He's like, فَخَرَجْتُ مُسْتَبْشِرًا. So he came in crying. He's going out laughing like, it's over. He says, I was خَرَجْتُ مُسْتَبْشِرًا بِدَعْوَةِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. So I got out smiling, laughing. It is. That's how much they believe in the Prophet's dua. فَلَمَّا جِئْتُ. When I came to my mom's house, قَصَدْتُ إِلَى الْبَابِ. I went to knock on the door. فَإِذَا هُوَ مَجَافٌ. I can hear something, water dripping. فَسَمِعْتْ أُمِّي حِسَّ قَدَمَيَّ. My mom heard my footstep. فَقَالَتْ مَكَانَكَ يَا أَبَا هُرَيْرَةَ. Abu Hurairah, stay put. Stay out. Don't come inside the house. And he said, وَسَمِعْتُ حَصْحَصَةَ الْمَاءِ. I could hear the water dripping. And قَالَ وَلَبِسَ دِرْعَهَا. She puts on her clothes. Dir'a would be more like a jalbab. And that's dir'a would be like it's armor. That's what they call dir'a, armor. But a woman's armor is her jalbab. Subhanallah. She said وَلَبِسَ دِرْعَهَا. She put on her armor, and وَأَعْجَلَتْ عَنْ خِمَارِهَا, and she grabbed her headscarf. فَفَتَحَتِ الْبَابِ. And now that's not the dress code of a non-Muslim. That's the dress code of a Muslim. She opens the door. وَقَالَتْ يَا أَبَا هُرَيْرَةَ. She opens the door and the first thing she says to her son, Abu Hurairah, أَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. أَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. Can I get a takbir for Abu Hurairah's mother? Right? And I went back to the Prophet ﷺ. I went running back. فَرَجَعْتُ إِلَى رَسُولِ اللَّهِ فَأَخْبَرْتُهُ فَحَمِدَ اللَّهُ وَقَالَ خَيْرًا. And I went back to the Prophet ﷺ, and he praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said some good things about my mother. Can you imagine? Can I get a takbir for this story, guys? Hope you enjoyed it. Message of these stories is you got to be involved. These people, they couldn't believe that their mothers or their fathers will go to hell. They didn't want that to happen. They didn't want that to happen. Now, some people have their struggles with their parents. See, many of us are fortunate that our parents are more religious than us, right? But I'm telling you, one of the most difficult things for a Muslim who's practicing is having disrespectful and disobedient children and non-practicing children. That's painful. Having a non-practicing spouse is painful. But having non-practicing parents is also very painful. Or compromised parents, if I say in Islam. People who are compromised Muslims. And how? Because you are going to be inevitably affected by their decisions. When you get married, their decisions are going to affect you. When you have children and you have a daughter or a son, that's going to affect them. So when you have the top parents not practicing, then you have yourself very vulnerable to their exposing yourself and your family to their modern ideologies or the liberal views, and sometimes if they're non-Muslim, to their disbelief. So that's very, very difficult. Like you can say, like, don't go to my brother's house or my sister's house because they smoke and they party. But how do you do that to your parents? So that is very difficult. So number one, we should also alhamdulillah for righteous parents. Alhamdulillah. Number two, we should be those parents when we become parents who are righteous. Number three is that we didn't go through what Abu Hurairah went through, or Abu Bakr went through, or what Imran went through. But we do have friends who have parents like this. We should support them. We should pray for their parents. And we should be a means of guidance for our non-Muslim friends, for our neighbors, for anybody. And the people think like, oh, this is Flushing, this is Michigan, this is Trump town. Everybody got a Trump flag. The reality is, everybody had an idol. Everybody had kufr, shirk in their front yard, backyard. And the Prophet ﷺ made these people, radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. It is not your da'wah that guides people. It is Allah that guides people. When you give da'wah to people and you invite them towards Allah and you pray for them, Allah will spread hidayah. And knowing that how happy these people were when their relatives became Muslim, they were crying when they became Muslim. They kissed their heads, they kissed their feet because they were so excited. We should also be grateful to Allah that God has given us parents who are righteous. We ask Allah to keep us righteous, but at the same time, this world around us, we are accountable. We're going to be asked by Allah, did you do your job? We're all going to be asked in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَلْيُبَلِّغِ الشَّاهِدْ مِنْكُمُ الْغَائِبِ. The Prophet ﷺ said in the Hajjat al-Wada, the ones who are present have to convey the message to the end. Those who are absent. Everyone here is getting a degree, becoming doctors, engineers, pharmacists, teachers, and all of this. I'm a teacher. We're doing all of this. We're all becoming, in our fields. Have we not walked across a classroom from hall to hall, campus to campus, ever thinking all these people are going to go to hell if they don't become Muslim? If you really believe that, then what are you doing about it? And if you don't believe it, then you got something wrong with your belief. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, to protect us. And someone will say, some middle schooler, or it's like someone who's like, very uh, far away from people and who doesn't have the biggest circle and influence, might be thinking, what can I do? You know what you can do is dua. And when you have influence, make sure you emphasize it and make a point. Barakallah, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the session. Good news, and I can't wait till this starts again. The best news of the week is that inshallah from next Thursday we'll be doing College Halaqa at Dyewood outdoor right before Maghrib Salah. And so we will start around 8 o'clock, conclude around 9. And like that, we can at least see each other and we can motivate each other and benefit from each other. So inshallah, that will happen from next week. I hope that's encouraging to all of you. Will you guys show up next week? Who here will show up in person to Dyewood at 8 p.m. inshallah? Please let me know. I want to feel some love. Some love. Wa iyyakum, guys. Anybody here that's going to come next week? Nur Awa wa iyyakum. Muhammad Abdul Malik wa iyyakum. Shuja wa iyyakum. Lu'ay iyyakum. Who else is there? Abood. You're welcome. You give me thank you, Abood. Where's the Jazakallah, Abood? Are you all white now? What are you? Well, yeah, I know deep down you're saying Jazakallah khair. So hopefully you enjoyed the stories. Noor says she will be there. Khawla says she'll be there. Noor Awa says she'll be there. He'll be there. So everyone's going to be there. I want to hear everyone, inshallah, come with your mask, you bring your sajada. And if you show up, Leen said she will be there, inshallah. You try to come, bring your siblings, bring your friends, bring the whole community. Let's make it huge. Yesterday I went to give a halaqah at Unity Center. There were 90 college-age youth there, 90 outdoors sitting on sajjadas, on the sajjada, on the grass. It was excellent. I mean, that's not how many people they get every day, but that was just their Wednesday halaqah, and they had a special occasion. So you guys, we can bring 90 tomorrow on next Thursday. Inshallah, we aim to make at least 70, 80. Fill it up, man. We miss each other, and we miss the opportunity of benefiting from each other. So inshallah, next Thursday, I hope I'm not going to see you 20. I want to see like 60 people, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the day. Keep me in your du'as. Today's Friday night. If you get a chance, wake up, pray 2 rakat salah, and make dua to Allah. Duas are accepted, and we're entering the month of the Hijjah very soon. We'll talk about that too, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Miss you all. Hope to see you all soon.